Local officials and Dr. Anthony Fauci explained the COVID vaccine timeline. Phil Lindemann with your news from Avalanche Physical Therapy on Krystal 93. First, it's been nearly 10 months since COVID-19 was confirmed here in Summit County, and the virus has made itself at home.
The news is that cases are still rising, and the biggest concern is the holiday.
That was Health Director Amy Wineland from a Summit Board of Health meeting yesterday. She spoke soon after Governor Jared Polis hosted Dr. Anthony Fauci, explaining how Colorado is not alone in the surge.
We have seen, because of a variety of circumstances, a surge that has really surpassed the others, where we have between 100,000 and 200,000 cases a day, between 1,000 and 2,000 deaths per day, and over 90,000 hospitalizations.
Fauci says COVID spread now is worse than ever, and we have yet to run the holiday gauntlet.
We are rapidly going to emerge into the season of people shopping, crowding, preparing, perhaps even the ill-advised office parties, if they can exist anymore, and then the Christmas holidays, and then New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So we have about a month or more of a situation where it is in our hands right now to see if we can mitigate it.
This week on the State of Summit,
we can crush this outbreak, just the way we did with smallpox, with polio, and with measles. So we can do it. We just need to hang together a bit longer.
That was Dr. Fauci staying cautiously optimistic about the promise of a vaccine, the same as Health Director Wineland.
So light at the end of the long tunnel, but still a lot of hard weeks ahead. As we know, we need to continue to follow what works.
Here's how the vaccine is divvied out.
It's all very prescribed as to who will get the vaccine, and it goes down to profession and who's at most risk for exposure. Of course, teachers is in a higher tier because we want to make sure that we get our kids back in school for in-person learning as soon as we can.
And everyone else?
And then the general public will not probably be until late spring.
The timeline depends on so much out of local control, but Assistant County Manager Sarah Vane says we'll be ready when it's here.
We've been practicing for this and planning for it, and so part of the flu vaccine distribution was to help us practice with more wide-scale distribution of the vaccine.
Tune in again next Wednesday for the State of Summit on Krystal 93. 1 month after coming to Frisco, Vail Health is most likely packing up its COVID testing site and moving to Breck. Sarah Vane.
Town of Breckenridge is interested in supporting this as well and partnering on a move. And so they were meeting to look at locations, I think, today.
No details yet on why Vail Health is moving, but it could be happening fast.
My guess is that it wouldn't be any earlier than first of next week, but it could be as early as first of next week.
Frisco provided that testing facility at 3rd and Granite Street free of charge by displacing town youth programs. Those programs are growing this month, with school postponed through January at least. Pile burning for wildfire mitigation in the season of COVID ain't as simple as lighting a bonfire. Assistant County Manager Bentley Henderson on what's happening with 450 piles of slash at Mesa Cortina open space.
There are a couple of nuances associated with the prescribed burn right now, both of those involving Department of Health regulations as they relate to the pandemic.
The first concern comes from the state.
CDPHE has issued guidelines that strongly suggest that you not do open burning right now.
And the second from the contractor.
They wanted to rent an STR and put everybody in it and have them get up there and get the work done and get back. And so they run into a problem with that because they can't have people from disparate households staying in the same unit.
County commissioners approved a modified burn, most likely half now, half later, for less smoke and easier crew logistics. Work begins next week. Copper is open for the season, including Super B, but you can't get on the race course just yet. Taylor Prather with the resort.
So we have early season alpine race training going on. We've been offering that since October 24th.
Several ski clubs are wrapping up with training there this week. Those East Village Blues and Blacks will open to the public as soon as they are gone. In sports, Michaela Schifrin is out for upcoming speed races in Switzerland. The Colorado superstar said she hasn't spent enough time training for Saturday's Super G in St. Moritz. She won there 2 years ago. And in local sports, brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Weiss Agency, virtual fat bike racing arrives in 2 weeks, December 12th, with Uller Bike at Gold Run Nordic Center in Breck. It's opening race of a 4-part winter series. Get details and register at mavsports.com. Phil Lindemann with your news from Avalanche Physical Therapy on Krystal 93.